Dee.
Hello, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I am Brad Grunburg.
And you're watching How
to Start.
We're here with the amazing Robert from Manifest Solutions. How are you? Law of Attraction Solutions. How do we manifest our life?
Hey, I am doing great, Lauren and Brad. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to share some ideas with some of your audience, and hopefully they can use some and they can upscale their life a little bit.
I like
now,
that.
You have over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. You have so many successful podcasts online. I actually found you from Spotify because your Spotify gets so many plays, and you are an expert on making money. So how can we inspire the audience to make some money?
Well, let's get right down to it, right?
Yes, okay. We all want money.
Okay, so I think the thing, Lauren, is that we don't want to push against not having money. So when we start emotionally pushing against not having a job, not having the job we want, not having the money we want, we start attracting more of the same. Rather, we focus on where we are going and what we deserve. And so part of that kind of requires a little bit of self-psychotherapy. You need to really get yourself in a state of saying, hey, I deserve this. Now, one of the things we do with our clients is we say, whatever you are earning annually. So let's say you're earning $100,000 a year annually. Divide that in half, $50,000, and that should be your immediate monthly goal. That should be what you're focused on attracting on a regular basis. And when you do that, it's amazing. I finally did it today. I took down my affirmations for my shower because I do my affirmations in the shower. We'll get into that later on, but
it's a good place to do it.
It's not. Brad's thinking, oh, that's kinky. I want to hear about that. No, it's not that.
You're a mind reader too, Robert.
But I realized that here I was, my earnings are way up here, and I'm still doing affirmations down here. Why? Because it's comfortable. And we get comfortable, and comfort is kind of the enemy of greatness, isn't it?
Yeah.
In other words, you want to be at peace with yourself, but you don't want to be comfortable.
You want to keep pushing yourself and striving for more rather than being complacent, right?
Yeah, until your up into your highest potential.
I could say something about Lauren.
Pushing against what we don't want is really what stops the money. You know, people, when I talk.
Yeah, but Lauren, she works so hard. Is it smart? You want to be a smart worker. You not work harder, right? Work smarter. Is that how that saying goes?
Well, look, Lauren has an incredible amount of talent, and she has an incredible amount to show the world. So, you take advantage of it while it's there, right?
I agree.
You know, when the roller coaster is riding, you're on it.
Yeah. Ride the wave until it breaks, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Because the ride will change for everybody.
Yes.
The journey will change. You're not on one journey for the rest of your life. Right. You're on a journey that is going to expand and into different areas of your life. So you're just going to uncover new parts of who you are.
People have trouble with change. Can you talk about that? Because I know a lot of myself, I tend to, I like things the same. I'm an old school guy. To change is kind of tough for me and a lot of people. What would you say about that? How do you make those changes that you need to on that journey?
Well, you get in touch with what I like to call your soul self. And your soul self is where you really live. It's who you really are. It's the part of you that is kind of eternal. You just know it's there. You can't find that spot where it's at, but it's there. It's the part of yourself that can't bullshit the world. It can't bullshit yourself. You can't bullshit your family. It's the real deal. And when you get in touch with your soul self says, hey, this is your journey. Now, the next step is going to be challenging for you. But if you don't take it, what's the alternative? In other words, I think of the alternative of not taking the step. And when I focus on the pain of not making the phone call, not going to the interview, not asking the girl out on a date, when I think about that, that's more painful than taking the step and moving forward.
Right. And that's from fear? Is that from fear that people don't do that, to take that step, to have the faith, to the leap of faith?
Yeah, I think the leap of faith thing is, you could, depending on the area of life, but usually it always comes down to fear of rejection. We want to be loved by everybody, all of us. We never want to be rejected. And the first thing if you're taking your own independent journey, is that rejection is good. Did I just say that?
Really? Is it really good?
It is absolutely good, because you learn to say, I don't care what your opinion is.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
I totally
So
agree.
I have a question going back to the money, and I guess relating to the I don't care. How do you keep those feelings of caring or wanting out? I know there's this reaching alignment thing. How do you just turn off all that?
I'm not sure I understood the question.
How do you stay positive when you get those feelings of, how am I going to make 100,000 a month? How do you get that worry out of your head?
I don't know how I'm not going to make 100,000 a month.
There we go. There we go.
You see what I'm saying? It's about rephrasing your self-talk and giving yourself a new way of looking at things. When people say, oh, this being a comedy, because I was in the comedy thing for a while, and I did a lot of cruise ships and did some Vegas shows and things like that. And I was pretty busy for a while. And people would say, oh, this is a tough business. This is a tough business. I go, this is the easiest business in the world. All you have to do is tell jokes and have people laugh. What's hard about that?
Yeah, digging ditches, that's hard work. Digging
ditches is hard work, yes. Isn't it about putting it in perspective? People say, a lady said to me yesterday, she said, do you really think I can get back with my ex? And I said, I think it's going to be easy. She said, what makes you, she got kind of angry. She wanted to believe it was going to be difficult. She says, what makes you think it's going to be easy? And I said, well, would you rather your mentor think it's going to be difficult? Is there any payoff in believing it's going to be difficult? Anything. Money, love, success. There's no payoff in choosing difficulty.
Why did that lady want to get back with her boyfriend or whatever?
Because she loves him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know how you broke up with him once? There must be a reason. You know how you say you can't go home again? Maybe there was a reason for that.
What we say is that here's kind of what we teach. If you loved once and you love deeply, you can love deeper, stronger the second time around.
That's beautiful. I love that, Robert. I want to hear more about the affirmations. If we can go to the affirmations in the shower.
Yeah.
How do you keep them not wet? How do they?
You write them up there with soap, and then they start melting away. No, I have affirmations that I put on a laminate card. Okay, and it has this this Velcro thing. And
Oh, you
so
should sell those.
what's that?
You sell those?
No, I just made it myself. You can make them. They're easy.
I would buy them from your website. That's amazing.
Well, if you want one, I'll make one for you. But here's the deal. So to me, Tony Robbins talked about affirmations that he's been doing for 25 years. He does one before every workshop. He does one in the morning that's been consistent with him. And he says, people say, well, Tony, why do I need to keep doing these affirmations? And his answer is, why not? They're working, So I do them regularly. And to ensure that I do them, I take a shower pretty much once a month. And so I at least get my affirmations in once a month.
You what? You take a shower once a month?
Brad, the comedian's going over here going, oh, that sounded like a joke to me. Anyway.
Oh, man. Let me write that down.
You take
a shower once a month.
I'm just being nice. I'm like,
you
okay.
You don't want to bathe off all that positive energy.
Yeah.
But
Robert, I'm so glad we're all in a different place. I mean, no offense.
If you take a shower once a day, which is what most people do, you're going to do your affirmations every single time you're in the shower. And it's fun because you're scrubbing your, what do they call that? Luskas? What are the deals there? You're doing your face, whatever you do, you're shaving, but you're doing your affirmation at the same time. And so there's energy, there's movement, there's excitement. And then and it's kind of like, this is how I'm starting my day. This is my beginning. This is where I'm going. And so when you get out of the shower, you just feel like, yeah, there it is. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited, babe.
Do you wash the affirmations too? Do you wash
the affirmations? No, I never wash the affirmations. I change them regularly though.
Do you read them out loud, and how many times do you repeat them?
Oh, I read them out. I don't have a formula. I say it until I feel it, because we don't attract by saying words. Look if saying words. Have you been to India? Anybody here?
No. Okay.
There are parts of India that are so poor that I've been to where people, all they do is their hands are out and go, I want. It's very, very sad. And so they teach you to take it $10 and they break it into rupees, which are like a quarter of a penny a piece. And that way you can give them a few rupees and you're not broke at the end of the day. And they get something that they can buy some bread with or something like that. But I want. So if words alone were power, everybody would have it. Because anybody that can talk can say, I want. But you got to say, I feel.
Oh.
I am. This is me. Do you see the difference?
I feel like I should have had my notebook here to be writing notes.
Did you feel when you gave to the poor people that needed you, did that gave you an extra sense of worth and an extra sense of feeling good? Like you get out of the shower, you're helping somebody in need. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I always like to pay it forward. I don't want to focus on their poverty. I just want to do what I have to do, because I don't want to focus on anything negative, because that increases that negativity. So I don't want to push against the poverty. I want to think about attracting wealth. So when I give them something, I'm kind of saying to myself, may this be a seed for additional wealth and prosperity.
Oh, okay. I see.
Now, when those negative thoughts, I know I keep going back to this because this is something I really work hard on, because especially in auditions or just other, if I really want something, I get into my head and it just, all of a sudden I'm like, get out of my head, but it just keeps going. How do you is there a way to turn that off totally, or?
Yeah. So let's analyze the word audition.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
To try out.
To try out, to prove yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm already there.
How do you get there already?
Now, if you don't see that, that's your problem, and you've just made an opportunity. You've just opened up a doorway for even a better opportunity for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. It's just feeling it in my heart. You know what I mean? Like when I'm there.
We've got to change that then.
Yeah. I have to change that. I have to
So,
change that.
so we had this, I can't remember his name, but I was mentoring him at the time. And he was auditioning for movie after movie. And he was a comedian, but he was more of a slapstick kind of comedy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he would do things like walk around with one pant leg rolled up and one down, and the other arm rolled up, sleeve rolled up, and the other one down, and stuff like that. And I said, "Well, do you go into your auditions like that?" He says, "Well, hell no." I said, "Why not? That's you." So he says, "I'll try it. What have I got to lose? I've been turned down for 50 auditions." So he went into the next one, and he was hired for a speaking role in Sister Act 2.
Yep.
Then he wanted to get straight again. You see what I'm saying? He wanted to not be himself and his greatness. You are perfect. And once you believe you're perfect, that doesn't mean you can't constantly change yourself to fit the paradigm that you desire to be. But once you realize that you're perfect, then it's other people's problems.
I've told Lauren, and what's worked for me is, you envision, like I just read like I told you, I did a show that I really, admired the creator and the host and the star, Larry David. When I did it, I knew this was my part. I wasn't auditioning against anybody else but me. And if I was to lose this part, I would lose it to me, not to anybody else. And I got it because I knew that was mine. You gotta envision it, and you got to take that self-doubt out. Lauren happens to be one of the most talented people I've ever met. I really mean that. And at times, the only problem is sometimes she doesn't realize how talented she is.
Right.
And she really is talented. So we're working on that. She's really special, and she's going to get a lot more stuff, I'm telling you. But you're right, Robert. I mean, you got to believe in yourself. It's really
she is coming into a vortex of opportunity right now. But once the real mind change is to realize that I'm not just coming into the vortex, I am the vortex.
Oh.
And when you realize that you are the vortex, and that you attract anything and everything, so you're going to attract a lot of junk to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Read some of the comments on your page. Anyway, you're going to attract a lot of junk to you too, but that's okay. That goes along with attracting everything else, just like a tornado.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk a little bit about the law of attraction and people's everyday lives. What can the viewers do to kind of help them be more positive or help them bring more things into their life?
Well, I think the first thing is to understand exactly, simplistically, how the law of attraction works. And the law of attraction basically says, I attract likes unto myself. Likes attract likes. If you want an easier sentence, birds of a feather flock together.
You are a product of your environment.
Maybe.
Like if I hung around with you, you're a winner, Robert. You're a winner. But if I hung around with my friend Bob, who always complains and he's always woes me, that's what I mean. You want to hang around with positive people. Keep that positive vibe going. Good people, positive energy, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. You want to always upgrade. Okay. And so likes attract likes. So what thoughts are you thinking? Because that's what you're attracting. What feelings are you thinking? Because you're attracting more of those. And so people will say, they'll say to me, well, Robert, I've been passed over 10 times for a promotion. And I go, well, that's what you're putting out. That's what you're thinking. That's what you're believing. You're almost expecting to be passed over. Now, there's a difference between expecting to lose and being detached. So when I was in Las Vegas years and years and years ago, and they offered me a role in a television show called Crime Story. I don't know if you remember the show.
Yeah, great story.
And I was just busy, and they were telling me that, I don't have a background in movies, and they were saying, you're going to have to be there at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, and then we don't know what time we're going to shoot your scene. They wanted me to play this evil villain bartender, right? Kind of a mafia. I'm a mafia bartender. And I go, that's not for me. I don't feel it. This is not what I'm looking at. I'm not going to tie up my whole day, even though it pays well and everything. I'm just not doing that. And so the more I said that, the more they wanted me for the role. Are you sure? Look, come on down and see the studio and see the set. And I just wasn't there at that time. But the bottom line is I was detached. I knew that I was right for that part if I wanted it. But I didn't want it. Okay. I was detached from it. When you stop wanting, you stop getting wanting energy back. Does that make sense? So I'm wanting. And there's been people walking the streets of Hollywood Boulevard in Spider-Man costumes for 30 years now going, I'm wanting. But instead of saying, I'm going to align myself with the vibration of already being there. If I was in the movie business, I wouldn't think about becoming, if you want to use the word star or famous actor, or I just like the word working actor or actress.
Yep.
Because I think that's really where it's at. I wouldn't think in those terms. I would think in terms of I already am a working actor and actress, and increasing opportunities and roles are flowing to me faster than ever before.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Do you meditate? How do you bring all this? Like, what's your day like? What's your I want to just copy everything you do.
After you get out of the shower,
after we get out of the shower, we just walk around that way for a while.
Is your office in the shower?
It's not far from the shower.
Okay.
Yeah. No, my office is down the hall and up a few stairs. And yeah.
So let me ask you. So you were detached. I don't want this part. I wasn't feeling it. Did you end up doing the part or no? Because
no, I didn't. I had no interest in it. But the same energy,
something they can't have.
The same energy attracted it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying that they kept coming at you because you're like, no, it's not for me. Oh yeah, we want you. That guy doesn't want it. That's our guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When everybody's in your face, okay. Like when I always tell my friends or young actors, when you walk in and it says on your forehead, I got to pay my rent. You're not gonna get the part, right? It's when you throw it away and you go in and you do the best you can and walk out the door. That's the person that usually gets it. When you want it too much,
Us Italians have a very esoteric saying: you throw a lot of spaghetti against the wall, and you see what sticks.
I like it.
And you don't worry about the stuff that falls to the ground. I like this idea. I would never audition again. I would simply create opportunities to meet new coworkers that I could work with, new opportunities to express myself. And I think, can I just say this? in regards to the acting business? Because we do this in the law of attraction as well. I think if you don't study your role and know everything about that character, you are going in hoping that they won't see the flaws, that you can cover them up through some kind of presentation. So when I work with clients, I teach them character acting because they become a new character. Except the difference is eventually they stay there.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Become don't act the character. Become the character.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
Because when you walk in that room, like for me, in the car, I already start getting into my character, and I'll walk into the casting, and I will be that character until I get back in my car, and that has been one of my mantras, because maybe out of 10 times I'll get the part 8 times, because they're looking for certain things. It's always not always the best actor that gets the part, right, Robert? There's a lot of other variables that work into the equation.
Yeah. It's not about best. It's about
Right.
it's about authentic. That's a key word. It's about authentic, and it's about the matter of opinion. And everybody's got an asshole and an opinion, including the people hiring you. You know,
Oh, yeah, right. That's
so
it. Everybody's got an
yeah.
asshole and I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just have to get something real quick. I want to segue.
Robert, I'm going to ask you a question. I saw a lot of your YouTube stuff. I love your shirts. How many are in the rotation? You got some great shirts, man. I love your shirts.
Oh, you like my shirts?
Yeah.
Well, I've been for about a year. I've been meaning to write to the Tommy Bahama.
Oh my God! You should have your own line, the Robert Zink line. Oh my God!
Yeah. They're pretty much all Tommy Bahama shirts.
Oh, they are.
Because I love working in them. Most of the time, I'm working in my shorts, a Tommy Bahama shirt, and a barefooted.
I love it. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, let me just say this.
Yeah.
I like what Will Smith said when he took on the role of Aladdin. And he said, I watched Robin Williams and listened to him over and over and over and over again. And I realized he didn't leave a lot of meat on the bone. In other words, he really chewed a lot of the comedy out of that. And he says, I had to look for places where I could bring my authenticity into it, and find places that maybe he didn't chew on so much. And he worked and found those places. Then I had to become that gene. He says, for like weeks, that's who I was. I was living that energy. And so we use that the ancients called it God forming. The ancient Egyptians, it's a magical technique. You didn't ask me about my background, but years ago, I taught
Tell
magic.
us about your background, Robert. Tell us about
That's why I got his book. I was like, I want to talk more. I could just talk to you, Robert. I'm such a huge fan of your YouTube channel and your podcast. You're amazing, but there's so much cool things about your background and all the courses you do. But yeah, like how did you start? Because that's what we really talk about on the show, even though I really want to just keep talking about the law of attraction, but I might be I watch his YouTube videos every night as I'm sleeping. He has these amazing playlists, and ever since I started making more money. So definitely listen to those as you sleep. But anyway, Robert, I want to hear your story.
And that's an interesting point. People will write to me quite often and say, I've never talked to you before, but I've been listening to you for 2 years and my income has doubled, or I'm in a better relationship now, or I got over my Alzheimer's disease and I can remember my name, or whatever it is that they were working through. It was just listening to those and picking up on that energy every single day. So Good
Robert,
idea.
we ask this question to all our guests. Uh, Nothing to do about your work now and all the people that you touch. What was your first job as a kid? What was the first job Robert Zink had in his life? A paying job, like mine was McDonald's. I worked at
Yeah.
McDonald's. And what
So
was
this guy owned several Piggly Wiggly stores.
yeah, I
And
love
he
that.
had I was like 15 years old, and he had this corporate office, which wasn't that big, but it had a lot of gardening to do, a lot of weed picking, a lot of nasty, get on your knees and pick those weeds. And so he says, I'll pay you whatever it was. It was $1 an hour or something like that to pick weeds. And I'll pay you Friday. Every Friday you get paid. And you just keep this. It's a full-time job. It's an all summer time deal, you know? And I said, okay, I can do that. So I worked for 2 weeks. Payday came. I was excited. And he said, never forget his name, Mr. Hogan. He said, he was like a psychic, you know. He's one of these old, very stiff Republican types, you know. He says, well, I hate to pay you today because then I'll never see you again. And he paid me, and he never saw me again.
He knew.
Yeah. Well, he knew nobody wanted to do that job, you know.
Right. But that's a good job for a young person to know. I dug ditches when I was 13 for my dad's company, and I remember in the hot sun in the valley, like 110, and I was like, wow, this is not what I want to do, but I'm going to finish the job, and I did. But yeah.
So, Robert, when did you get into the magic? That's what I want to know. And the law of attraction. When did that start?
Yeah. So when I was 17, I was in broadcast school, radio and television broadcasting. And I met a friend there who introduced me to another friend who was on the radio, who had a very politically conservative, kind of scary show. Now, remember, this was, I don't want to give away my age, but this was back in the 70s when you had to do equal time. Remember, if you have somebody from this, you have to do this and so forth. So I listened to this guy every night. And he says, we're going to go meet him. I'm working with him. I was very vulnerable, very open because my mother had just passed away. So we went and met this guy, and we began learning about magic. And he had learned magic in World War II in England. And my friend had learned magic through an organization called the Golden Dawn in Boston. So they had a small little group. They initiated me. I didn't make much into it one way or the other. It was just kind of like, okay, this is a cool little play. And but later on in my late 20s, I had a breakdown. I just couldn't function, didn't want to work, couldn't do anything. And I realized later that my pineal gland was opening, that I was opening up to higher source energy, and that all of the training and things that I had been taught now needed to be put to use. So as that began opening, I'm laying on the couch. I hadn't been out of my apartment in 5 years.
What?
And and I'm living on Xanax and everything else. And I'm laying there, and this buddy comes over, and he's done a few movies as a comedian as well. But he used to come over to my house because I wouldn't leave, and he'd do tricks for me, magic tricks. And I'd say, how did you do that? And pretty soon he was teaching me, and then he'd say, do you want to go to the magic store? I'd go, yeah. So now I had this background in real magic, and I was learning the background in stage magic. And I always understood from being on radio, how to hit timing, tell jokes, things like that. So I kind of did comedy magic, did some illusions, did shows at the Sahara, did shows with Pee Wee Herman. We did a private show once in a theater, but that's a whole different story. I'm just
Pee Wee Herman. Oh my goodness. Great.
but you know, Elvira. I did a show with Elvira. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
That's going back a few years, huh?
Yeah.
And Rip Taylor.
I love Rip
Scott.
Taylor.
I worked with Rip Taylor. I was at the Palace Station doing a bit, and I was the MC for 5 hours. Can you imagine 5 hours of MC work?
Wow.
And the band is back there getting set up, and I hear them arguing with themselves, you know. And so I've got to keep the audience going and until the green light comes on, and then I can get off, right? Introduce them and get off. So I'm going through all my bits. I'm going through hey, what part of town, what part of the country are you from? I'm doing everything, right? And Rip Taylor, he's sitting out there laughing his butt off with my manager, and he says, let me rescue you. He's really struck. And he comes running up on stage, throwing out the confetti and doing everything. And he did about 20 minutes. And he people were standing up. They had tears coming out of their eyes. They were laughing. Now this is an important story. They were in a different world. They were transformed.
Right.
They were transformed by his love, by his comedy, by his character. It's important.
Yeah.
We sat down, we had breakfast together, and he began crying at the table. I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "I just lost my mother." And he says, "My mother was everything to me." He was a sensitive man. He wasn't married, didn't have a family. He didn't have anybody but his mother. And he took care of her day and night. He was extremely loyal to his mom. And she passed away. Now, a few moments ago, we were talking about method acting. When he went up on stage, his mother did not exist. Nothing existed but the character of Rip Taylor. But soon as it was over, and we were in private having breakfast, then he was back to being a human being, and he could let that character fade away. And he felt he could trust me enough to talk to me about it.
That's very interesting you said, because I had the same kind of experience with Don Rickles. He was with his mother, and he was a totally different character on stage than he was in real life. A real sweet man, you know. And Rip Taylor, I got to meet him too. Unbelievable guy. God, that's a great story. That's a wonderful story.
These were some, and the thing about Rickles is that he was so funny, and his timing was so perfect. But at the end of the day, he tore everybody up in every race, every creed, every color. I don't know how his act would go over today.
No, right. I don't know.
I really don't, because people don't have a sense of humor anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's
got to chill out.
Lenny Bruce would be arrested again. You know,
a disaster for these guys.
But my point is that he did that, and Rip Taylor had that ability to do that. And I remember one night Red Fox and I were out just playing quarter machines together, you know, and somebody came up and said, "Where's Lamont?" And he almost blew it. He almost lost it. He almost fried himself, because he said, and I said, "Man, you really lost it there for a moment." He says, "That's a character. Don't these people know any better?"
That's great. That's great.
So I was able to pull myself out of my depression, by stop thinking about Robert.
Right.
And so it started with magic tricks, and then it was comedy, and then it was illusions. And then eventually I said, I'm going to go back into advertising and marketing, which was my business to begin with, because that's what I was really most comfortable with. And as I did that, some of my students in the magical world started asking for mentoring. Okay, I'll mentor you. Well, how much do you want? $50? 20? I don't know. And I started mentoring people. And then I did my first podcast on Blog Talk Radio in 2009. So I actually started mentoring people in 2007, but I still had my agency going. And then I wanted to fade my agency out and just get into helping people with the law of attraction and the ancient teachings applied to modern living. People learn these teachings and their lives are, they're transformed.
Did you learn about these teachings early on?
Yes, I did, but I didn't apply them.
You didn't apply them until
I had the breakdown. Yeah. When I had the breakdown, then it was after the breakdown that I realized that it wasn't a breakdown, it was an awakening. Some people are going through depression right now. They're going through anxiety.
Yes.
And yes, there are external factors that may be playing into it, maybe making it worse. But the truth of the matter is they're going through an awakening and they're fighting between their human self, the physical part of who they are, and the eternal part of who they are. And it's only when these two come together and form a bond that you can begin to manifest anything you want.
How long does this awakening last for? Because I feel like maybe I'm going through that. How long? Like, is it like a couple months period? Is it years period? Like, when can I be together and like not feeling like the struggle?
Well, that's really up to you. I mean, some people go through the awakening their entire life.
Oh God.
Some people say that awakening carries over to the next life and the next life. And then there are others like Paul in the Bible who had a Damascus experience and he was changed overnight. Mm. I don't think you're far away.
Okay, good.
Don't worry. Relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
So I did want to talk about a lot about your book because I've been reading it and I love it. But where can we find more about your magic stuff? I want real life magic, like
you have the other book. You want real life magic stuff.
I do. I know you're into crystals and essential oils and frequency and there's a lot of stuff about dreams that you talk about in your videos and.
Yeah. This is the other book we wrote.
Oh, wait. Oh, energy healing. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, it's 20 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
It took 20 years to write it. It has, what I like about the book is it has over 216 diagrams in it that, I can't show them all to you, but it's based on, it's not a light read and people will oftentimes start it out. So I just say, if you really want to learn magic and you want to apply that magic to your life to help your life and others, let's do it.
Where can we get your books?
You just get them on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, anywhere.
Cool.
Lauren, I'm going to buy that book for you for your birthday. She just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I think
he said I got this book for my birthday. I'm very excited about. Everyone, you should get it. It's amazing. I've been reading it as soon as I got it. Robert and his wife Rachel wrote it. It's so good. Make sure you go follow them and get this book. But anyway, continue. Sorry, interrupted.
And we're gonna get the other book for you.
That would be great.
We're gonna get that other book for you, Lauren. That's great. That's nice. Robert, you're telling me about all these people that you hung out with, the Rip Taylors, all the Vegas stuff. That was a whole another part of your life. That must be another book. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic, man.
Well, my biggest hangout, if you want to say that, in Vegas for the 5 years I was there, was a guy by the name of Jimmy Grippo. Now you you may never have heard of Jimmy Grippo, but if you go look on YouTube, Jimmy Grippo was one of the most phenomenal card sharks in the world.
Oh,
But he was also a mystic. He was also a master hypnotist and hypnotherapist. And he taught me techniques. I worked with him. He taught me techniques that I haven't seen in any other book or found any other place. And he was the best. He one of his claims to fame was hypnotizing J. Edgar Hoover on stage in front of John F. Kennedy.
wow.
And he hypnotized him after Hoover said he couldn't be hypnotized. And then he took his wallet out of his pocket and he gave it to President Kennedy to hold. And then he snapped him out of it. And he says, now, I hypnotized you. And he says, no, you didn't hypnotize me. He says, I was conscious of everything. And he says, what were you conscious of? Well, I've just been standing there waiting for you to try to hypnotize me. He said, okay. Where's your wallet at?
I love that. Oh my goodness. That is great. Did he perform at the big hotels, Jimmy?
He worked privately at Caesar's Palace.
Gotcha.
For Caesar. And in the early days, I'm not supposed to say this.
Yeah.
But in the early days when the mob owned the casinos,
Right.
they didn't like people losing everything because they would never come back.
Yeah.
So when some guy was just losing his ass off at the table,
Yeah.
they'd bring Jimmy in to deal and help the guy win. So he could go home. He still lost, but he
Right.
went home with some money and some dignity, enough to keep him excited to come back
Again.
a month later, 3 months later, whenever.
I think
And
that
then
when Bob ran Vegas, that was the golden age. I think now it was never the same. It was special.
It's the real criminals, the corporations.
Yeah. That's right. They're the real criminals. That's right. Oh
Yeah.
God. This has been great. Robert, you're a real character, man. I really like your stuff.
Well, you guys are characters too.
This has been wonderful. I mean, to hear your stories. Do you ever go on stage around the country and do seminars and
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
We were doing these massive COVID seminars and no one was showing up. But prior to it took Lauren a second. She's sitting there going,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got it. Slow burning joke, But no, we've done a lot of workshops. We're going to do some in Sedona this year in the fall. And they're going to be life-changing events. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, you're an amazing speaker. These stories and your motivation, I would say a lot of people would show up to see you and your wife.
Well, we bring other people in too. We bring people in that work on body healing. I'm bringing in another gentleman of mine that literally he's going to show you how he just reaches into thin air and pulls piles of money into his life.
Oh, wow. I'd like to meet that guy.
Yeah, he just bought a new Lambo, and
I want to meet that guy too. Can he manifest a Tesla in my driveway?
He's seen your picture. He's more than happy to meet you.
Oh, God.
I hope you like guys with purple hair.
Awesome. Love purple hair.
You love it. That's your favorite
There you
color.
go.
That's your favorite color, Robert.
Oh, so Robert, could we go to your huge online following? Because before we end this, I know you've been on for a while, so I don't want to take your whole day, but I want to know how you've grown this audience, and I want to make sure everybody knows that they have to go subscribe to you and all of your platforms. How did you build it?
Yeah. So we started with the blog talk thing, and we had 8 or 10 listeners or followers per week. And that wasn't my main source of income. So I didn't feel the need to have to build it. And then I realized I could get us on other platforms as well. So we upload to 2 major platforms and they spread us out all over the internet. But then I had a gentleman call me up and he said, hey, do you mind if I take your podcasts and put them up on YouTube. And I said, go for it. Have fun. He started doing it. And about a month later, I went to his channel to see how they were doing. I knew nothing about YouTube or any social media stuff. And I'm looking, I'm going, wow, 90,000 viewers there, 180,000 viewers there. And so I'm sitting there and I'm telling a friend of mine about it. And he says, you need to have your own YouTube channel. So we started, and like the pictures were grainy and everything was really terrible. But we started with a YouTube channel, and it's just progressively gotten better. Now we're on Instagram, and we're trying to, we're not trying. We don't try. We do, says
we do. We do.
But we're doing Instagram every day, putting some new content on there. We are on Facebook, and we have a huge mailing list too, as well. So you can always get on our mailing list.
Robert, I have an idea for you. I think that you should do one of your shows from the shower. You show them of course, don't show any of your private parts, but show your affirmations in the shower and make that a special event. What do you think?
Well, it could be kind of like the shower scene from Psycho, where it starts off with, right?
Right. I would be yes. I like it. Let's get that into production immediately. Let's get that.
I will do one from the shower, but I want to have a class in there with me.
That would be great.
So I can teach them how to do it. What do you think of that idea?
I like that. I think you should sell them, because I don't have a laminator, so I wouldn't never be. You should have that on your website. Yeah. And what is it lawofattractionsolutions.com, or what's the exact website?
Lawofattractionsolutions.com. And there's all kinds of free ebooks there, free audio books, and you can claim your 30 minutes of miracle mentoring and alchemy life coaching. And let me just say this before we go. The 3-word formula. Nobody has it. Nobody's doing it. Nobody will ever do it, because we did it. We found 1,111 people from all parts of the world, from the 4 corners of the world, in different accents, and all in a state of love. And we recorded them one at a time saying, I love you. And then we intermingled them together. We spent months in the audio bay, figuring out the right tempo. We put various kinds of vibrational music behind that. We created a whole energy field around it. And what happened is we came up with the 3-word formula. You listen to this for 28 days, your energy field will be bathed in love. You will love yourself more than ever before. You will never think low of yourself. You will always attract good things into your life. It's called the 3wordformula.com. There's nothing like it. I'm on day 45, and I'm using the sleep one now. The sleep one is kind of cool because it's just like, I love you. I love you. It's very slow and soft with some hypnotic music. And it just puts you in a whole different place, a whole different state of consciousness.
Robert, I have something to tell you that I didn't want to tell you earlier. I want to tell you now. Robert, I love you.
I love you too. And thank you.
You're welcome. This has been wonderful. Another great podcast with Babe, Lauren, Francesca. I'm Brad Grunburg, and that's Robert Zink.
Zink.
How do you Zink?
Zink. Zink.
Zink. Robert Zink. And this has been How to Start.
Yes.
This time. And I love everybody.
I love you all too. And guys, please go to Robert's website. He has a ton of courses there. So Law of Attraction Solution, or what's the 3wordformula.com.
The 3-word formula. If you want to make money, fill yourself up with that love vibe.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes. Yes. And I would love to interview you again, Robert. This has been so much fun. I want to know more. I want to know your daily routine. I want to know how to raise your frequency. There's so many questions, and you have so many.
Well, you write them down. Can we do the next one on your Instagram channel?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Maybe next week on my Instagram. Definitely. You're all about this, guys, and make sure to tune in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm 3wordformula.com. He has a ton of courses, a lot of awesome books, guys, and he has really helped me. I started making twice as much money since I listened to your money one. That's what I listen to. That's what I want in my life is money. But he has so many videos about everything you could want in life. So make sure you subscribe to his solutions, his YouTube channel, Law of Attraction Solutions, and check out his website for his courses and free books on there. There's a lot of free stuff. So make sure you go there. But thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Robert. I'm Lauren Francesca.
Have a great day.
Have a
You
great
deserve
day.
it.
Bye.
Take care, Robert.
Love
Say
you
hello to
guys.
your beautiful wife for us. Say hello to your beautiful wife for us.
I absolutely will. Thank you.
Yes, his wife has the best tapping videos, guys. You have to watch them. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye,
I keep
guys.
talking.
See you next time on How to Start.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you, Robert.